Okay, so it happens because the direction of erosion changes from vertically, which creates the V shape, to lateral, which widens the river valley. Okay. So next question. One reason why the size of sediment carried by the river decreases downstream. So that's shown up here in the diagram. And there's one reason why it gets smaller, and that reason is because of attrition. And if you remember, that's about the pebbles banging into each other, the load banging into each other. And it goes from being large and angular to finally being small and smooth over time. Okay, we had to study figure 3, and this is all about transportation, and you can see that you've got the 4 processes of transportation shown there. Now, the question says a label is missing. Now, which of the following is the correct label? So, have a think about this one. We've got suspended load, so that is that load there. So that actually could be one of the answers. Then we've got siltation. So siltation is already shown here. It's the bouncing of the slightly smaller load along the riverbed. So it's not going to be siltation. Saturation means when soil is full of water, so it can't, no more water can infiltrate. That's got nothing to do with this picture, this diagram, so it's not that one. And abrasion is an erosion process where the load erodes the bed and banks of the river channel as it's carried along, so it's not that one. So this is your answer. Okay. Which of the following is not a true statement about deposition? So just read the question carefully and notice the not there. So deposition occurs on the inside bends of meanders. So remembering our meander, this is our inside bend, and we know that that is actually true. Deposition occurs in areas of faster velocity only. Well, it doesn't. It normally occurs where the velocity slows. So on the inside bend, the velocity slows, and that's why we get the deposition. So that appears to be false. But let's just check the other two. Deposition occurs at the mouth of the river. We know that happens because we see the big deltas there, and so that's in the mud flats. So that one's true. Deposition occurs in shallow water, and we know that one's true because the shallow water will have the slow velocity, and so it can't carry very much load. So again, that one's true. So we've only got one right answer there, the one that's false, and it is deposition occurs in areas of faster velocity only. Okay. Right, the next question was all about high force waterfall on the River Tees, and people did a brilliant job of answering this question because they knew the 4 steps of waterfall formation and gorge formation. Now, where people lost marks and lots of people got 5 out of 6 was because of this part shown in the picture. So in order to get full marks, you had to write a good explanation of the formation, but you had to relate it to this picture. Now just below here, I've shown 4 different places where you could have done that. So here we've got the band of resistant rock overlies the band of less resistant rock, which is eroded more quickly. So in the picture, and if we look up at the picture, you can see that the less resistant rock is here and is a much lighter colour than the more resistant rock, which is here. And so you could have written something like, in the picture, the less resistant rock is a lighter colour than the You could call it the cap rock here if you wanted, the one on top. Okay, so after this has happened, it creates a plunge pool at the foot of the waterfall. So if we go back to the picture, and this would be a nice simple one to do, you could say that the plunge pool is under the bit where we've got the white water. Okay, so in the picture, this is shown by the area of white water. Okay, so it creates a plunge pool and an overhang which eventually collapses due to gravity. Now obviously we can't actually see that happening in the picture, but what you can see is all these large angular rocks here on the side. Now they would have originally come from this overhang when it collapsed into the plunge pool previously. So we can write that in the picture. The collapsed overhang can be seen in the large angular rocks on the right hand side. Okay, you could put an arrow if you wanted to. So we've got to do the gorge and the waterfall. So finally, over time, this process repeats itself and the waterfall moves backwards, creating a steep-sided gorge. Now let's relate that up to the picture up here, and you can definitely see the steep-sided gorge here and also here. So in the picture, it is steepest on the left hand side and is in the foreground and next to the waterfall. Now you wouldn't have had to have written all of those to get your 6 marks. Just one of them would have been enough to take you to your to show that you were using the picture. I've just given you 4 to show you where you could have done them. Okay, so that was the end of the physical geography section. So on to changing economic world. Okay, so what have we got here? We've got figure 5, world map, showing the global distribution of HDI. It tells us what HDI is, life expectancy, educational level and income all combined. 0 is the worst result and 1 is the best result. So using figure 5, compare the HDI values in Africa and South America. Okay, well let's go to the key. Noticing that much of Central Africa is the green colours, we can see that that's the lower numbers. Nowhere green in South America, so it's the higher numbers. So your basic statement, your obvious, is South America, the HDI is higher than in Africa. So that was your first mark, so you've got 2 marks to get here. So you had to say something else, and you would be thinking here about, well, okay, how different are they, and in what other ways are they different? And we could say that the African range goes from the very lowest, from this one, all the way up to here. So it has a very large range of 0.5, sorry, less than 0.5 to 0.8. And South America has a much smaller range from 0.6 to just more than 0.8. You could have said also that Africa is much, the HDI is much lower in Central Africa, but higher in the north and south, whereas South America is much more even, or is higher in the south, highest in the south. Okay, so you had to give 2 marks for that, 2 points for that, to get 2 marks.